The journey of successfully selling real estate has some very distinct phases. I have spoken at length about preparation, process, and strategy, but let's look at the selling process from the buyer's perspective. And very importantly, how the design of your marketing program takes a person from being a passive viewer to a prospective buyer to your actual purchaser. When you look back retrospectively at a buyer's journey pertaining to the property they ended up purchasing, you can break it down into three distinct phases. The first phase is prior to actual on-site viewing. In other words, before they walk through your front door or before they walk through your front gate. This phase may be initiated in a number of ways by an email, an e-brochure, a letter, a phone call, your signboard, or seeing it online. From the seller's perspective, this is arguably the most important phase to get right, and it's multifaceted. If we fail here, the buyer never steps foot into your property and most likely will never buy it or compete with another buyer for it. If, however, we make a real impact at this time, a number of critically important things happen. Let me backtrack for a moment. However the first phase is initiated, the buyer must be immediately channeled back to an online presence where they can fully explore your property in detail. They need to understand what your home has to offer and obviously see it in a favorable light. This is how we take a buyer from being responsive to very interested. For this phase of buyer engagement, we produce and disseminate marketing material that serves to garner a positive response and serves as or acts as a conduit to getting these buyers onto your customized website. Once on your individual site, the quality of our content will ensure that we connect and engage on an emotional level. This is where we are telling or selling a story, a narrative that ignites a vision and creates a perception of what your property has to offer, and ultimately what owning and living in such a property will do for this person or perhaps their family. This is where the buyer makes a definitive decision that they want to view your property in person. They pick your home over and above all the other properties that you're competing with. This is where they get excited that this might be the one. When they arrive at your open home, they arrive with a predetermined mindset of what your property has to offer. We want every potential buyer for your property to feel like this. This is where initial buyer interest becomes real and measurable activity that creates urgency and drives competition for your property.